Hello, everyone. It's Jerry at the Fledge, and welcome to another episode of Every Damn Day. Today is episode 353, so 12 more after today, or 13 including today. You know, I love the number 13. So let's get to it a little bit. Got my Fledge shirt on, so shout out to Dustin, and thanks for getting that screen printing all set up downstairs and having that functional, and pretty cool little room that we've got there. And want to give a shout out to the Eastside Neighborhood Organization. I think they did a great job with their first ever Summer Fest. So let's do that again this year or next year. And as always, shout out to the champ, Mr. Joe Walker, and thisent.com. Thanks for promoting, thanks for summarizing and putting the show out there. So we appreciate you very much. Now to my guest, my new friend, KT, the Conscious Poet. How you doing?
Yo, what's going on, Jerry? How we doing?
I am doing great, man. What you been up to today?
Today, woke up, listened to church service, got to work. You shot me a reminder that we had to do this interview, and so I was like, "Oh, let's go." I forgot a little bit, but then I remembered, and I was like, "I'm excited to do this." So, enjoying the weather, man. It's beautiful outside, and I'm excited to do this. This is our first time actually engaging with one another, so we get to do this in front of a bunch of different people. So we just gonna see how this goes.
Well, let's start with anybody you'd like to give a shout out to.
Oh,
buddies.
Man, that's a long list. We're gonna be here all day with that. But honestly, man, huge shout out to anybody that's trying to do anything to uplift the community. More in particular, my people, my squad. First and foremost, the family. My squad: Mila, Tina, Steven, CISO. And definitely shout out to God. Just like I said, everything that I get is a gift from Him. So those are the people that I want to shout out today.
I love all those people too. How many of them are actually paintings you have behind you? Because I know you're going to be supporting local artists too.
Of course, it's all about local. Actually, so I got two pieces behind me. The one on my right, maybe y'all left. So this one over here, actually was done by Tina. She owns RL Designs, and she is a crazy, mad, talented, dope artist. But even more importantly, she's just an amazing, wonderful person. And so just try to display some of her work. Let me we'll pop it in front of the camera real quick so y'all can get a closer look. Super dope. It just says creativity is consciousness on there, which is like my motto. Creativity. And then the other one over here is another local artist. She actually just did her first pop-up show at Art Feast that was in Old Town. And so it's just a crown. Y'all not gonna be able to see it, but at the top of the crown there's the symbol for Capricorn, which I'm a Capricorn, and so that piece is weird because that piece I was drawn to instantly. I was like, yo, this is dope, but I didn't know the whole story behind it, and she explained everything, and I was like, all right, I gotta get this. So she's Tori Klecky, I think her last name is, and TK is her IG name. Tina, you can do Tina C at 28, both on IG, man. Dope artists in the community that are doing great things.
Thanks. I appreciate you supporting our local community. Every time we do, we make ourselves stronger, and that's why I love all you creatives and entrepreneurs. This is why I love this show, actually doing the show. So let's get into knowing you a little bit more. Where were you born and raised, and went to school and all that?
But all right, I appreciate you. Oh, I forgot to shout out one more person. I got to shout you out, man. Jerry at the Fledge for having us here today. Thank you. Shout you out too. My name is Keyante Saxon. I go by KT the Conscious Poet as a stage name. But I was born and raised in Lansing, man. Lived all over the place. So I'm that kid that's not from any particular area, but I'm good in most circles. So like that's me. Did a lot of moving around. Family on the west side, family on the south side, family on the east side, north side, whatever you want to say. I went to school-wise. I went to Forest View Elementary. I went to Mid-Michigan Academy. I went to, where else did I go? Donley Elementary out in East Lansing. Went to McDonald Middle School out in East Lansing, graduated from East Lansing High School, but still got ties to J-Dub, Sexton, Eastern, Everett, all of those schools out that way. So, I'm from all over, man.
Yeah.
517 is my home.
I bounced around the south side a lot when I was young, and then moved up to the north side, but went to school on the east side, but wrestled on the west side,
Okay.
and played football on the west side as I was
Okay.
growing up. So I can at least with the old men, I can hang in all the circles.
There you go.
So,
That'll work.
um, so what? Tell us. So you graduated from East Lansing High School.
Yeah.
Were you already a poet? Did you consider yourself a poet then?
Man, back then I wrote, but I didn't consider myself a poet. It's weird. I mean, I feel like I'm more of an expressionist than anything, but I just let people deem titles and stuff. But I wrote, but I didn't ever pursue poetry or pursue creative writing. I was an athlete back in high school. And so, like so many young kids my age, social norms box us in, and you try to fit these boxes so that way you can stay accepted. And so I was an athlete, track runner, ended up running at Michigan State for a couple years as a walk-on due to injury. I had a huge story with that that took away some of the offers and stuff that I had, but I ended up still having the opportunity to run track at the collegiate level at Michigan State, and that was a great experience, also a sad experience because it didn't turn out the way that I had. My only dream in high school was to be like an Olympian. That was really my only dream, and that got snatched away. So I'm glad I found writing, and I'm glad I found poetry.
I'm glad you did too. My it wasn't my only dream, but it was my biggest dream was to be an Olympian wrestler.
Okay.
Um, and the real goal was to get me into college for free and get me graduated from college. So that was
Yeah.
my bigger dream. And I got hurt in the Big Tens my junior year and couldn't wrestle. I wrestled for Michigan.
Okay.
So,
What? Oh
yeah.
my goodness, Jerry! I thought we was cool. Now you gotta go now. No, I'm just teasing, man. It's all love. It's all love.
I grew up in this area. I can be both fans.
Yes, sir. We can do
So
both.
yeah,
We can do both.
but I'm not one of those Walmart Michigan fans. So
Okay,
you
got
can
you.
still be mean to me. I'll be okay.
It'll be good.
um,
Martin dog all day over here.
so you're doing track. What were you studying?
I studied journalism while I was in school, so writing still has been a consistent part of my life. I just didn't really choose to pursue it until 2018, 19, really. So it's still it's blessed to be able to have the position that I have right now for still being so new. But also at the same time, it's always been a part of my life, even though it was hidden for a while.
Yeah. So what'd you do in that time in between? Do you mind me asking or?
No, yeah, that's actually a part of the story. It's part of the testimony. I think after my injury in college, my identity was really wrapped up in
Mhm.
my athleticism, in my track, my track standard. And so like I was KT the hurdler, like that's just who I was, that's what I was, that's how I lived life. And after that got taken away, I was lost for a while, just because you get what you have your identity wrapped up in. You don't really have a compass anymore, right? I didn't have that north star to guide me anymore, and so it took a while for me to take a look in the mirror and really just try to figure out, what do I like to do, what kind of person am I, to detach from this idea that I was identified by what I did versus I bring my identity to all things that I do. And so it took a while from there. I ended up moving to Boston for a little while. I became a certified personal trainer, came back home, started a fitness company, did strength and conditioning coaching for Okemos, and trained a lot of people around the area, managed a gym or two, worked at a couple different gyms. And, one day I just started to pay more attention to my writing, and I was blessed to be able to start performing at a couple places, and people were just kind of like, "Hey, is this what you do? Like, do you do this for a living?" And I was like, "Nah, this is actually like my first time up on a microphone, really." And it was like, "Dang, I thought this is what you did." And so, from there, it's just kind of grown and take off into what it is now. And so now, you see KT the Conscious Poet, but I'm not wrapped up in that. I do so much more.
Do you make your living doing it now, or
Yeah, I
part of
mean,
your
I'm
living?
I'm full-time entrepreneur now. Run a company called the Conscious Streamers. I was entrepreneur before with the fitness industry, so this is my
Yeah.
first go around at entrepreneurship. But this is my first time at entrepreneurship in the creative space, which is it's a whole different beast over here. But blessed because of the relationships that I have built throughout the course of my life that, you get platforms to do things. So, yep, full-time entrepreneurship. I do a lot of contract work, I guess. So I do a lot of partnership with organizations called like One Love Global, BCFI, and Lansing. Who else have I worked for in the past? Community and schools, done work with them. So, just again, a lot of the relationships that I built have allowed me to be an entrepreneur in this aspect.
On the with the contract work, is it all on the creative side, or do you do any business coaching or
No,
mentoring in that space?
no business. I do mentoring, but I don't, it's not like business coaching. I think in life, you need to have yourself. You need to have a mentor, someone above you who's
Mhm.
been where you're at, someone to learn from. You need to have, your peers who are kind of at the equal level, and then you need to have mentees. And so I have mentees underneath me who are also in the creative space. And I mentored them as well, but it's not something that I do for money. I just do this because I think it's my responsibility as someone, who's been further along the journey as someone else who's trying to do the same thing. So yeah.
I agree with you 100%. We don't call it mentor and mentee here. We say when you're here, you're a student and a teacher. But then we
Facts.
have mentoring programs where we'll invite a bunch of people in to match up and kind of like speed mentoring, but we
Okay.
flip it. The people that we tell are coming to be the mentor, we
Uh-huh.
actually make them the mentee of the kids that we bring, and then we have the kids teach that older adult something like
Yeah.
TikTok or
Yes.
something with
Yes.
code or whatever,
Yeah.
and gets us practicing and opening those channels for that mentor mentee. So super important work. I'm
I
glad you
love
do
that.
that.
I'm mad that y'all took speed dating and turned it into speed mentor. I think you're absolutely right, though, man. I agree with you, Jared. I think it's definitely a two-way street. I take a different approach when it comes to educational spaces. I feel like you can learn anything from anybody if you're open, to
Mhm.
it, and especially, the younger generation and kids. I feel like they have their finger on a pulse much more than like we do because they're in the realms that are going to become our present, and so I like to learn as much from kids as I do from someone who's older than me, just as much as I do from someone who's the same age as me. So I'm right there with you on that one, bro.
Yeah. Have you had a mentor for pretty much your? I mean, being an athlete, I know you've got coaches and you've got
Right.
mentors and you got everyone telling you what you need to be doing all the time. Uh, so you get used to it, right? And
Yes and no. I think that's part of the reason why I have this like love-hate relationship with authority and like mentorship, is because as an athlete it was a force, like you had to do this kind of thing. But also at the same time, as I've grown and matured, I can see like the necessity for it and like the good that it's done, in my life. Have I always had a mentor in terms of life? Not really, but in terms of like being an athlete, there's always been that mentorship
mhm.
aspect to my life. And so yeah, now that I've shifted over into adulthood, yeah, having a mentor is very important. That person who you could turn to when things just go to shit and you like, all right, I need help with this.
I I can't believe how much you and I think alike. I mean, just so far, I know it's a little bit, but
Yeah.
I get so pissed at authority, and it's all I know. It all traces back to those coaches making me do shit I
Yeah.
didn't want to do.
Exactly. It's just like, why am I doing this? I don't need to do this right now. But really, we did actually need to do it.
Yeah,
So I feel you.
but I do think it also taught me, if I'm going to have this opportunity to learn from someone that was a NCAA champion or an Olympic champion, then keep my mouth shut and learn from them because this is a great opportunity.
Right. Like they've done the thing that I'm trying to do. I should probably just shut up.
Yeah. But you and I definitely need to be hanging out a little bit more.
Hey, I'm down
Uh,
for it.
so, uh, so let's get into what, or do you think you did already tell us what the conscious streamers does, or I think
Uh,
we could summarize that.
I can elaborate a little bit
Yeah.
more, but people ask me this question, and the conscious streamers is, even though I've been operating in it for a little while, it's something that I started officially this year in March. I'm sorry, April. sorry, May. Dang, it's been a couple months, so it's still fairly new. Which again, I'm blessed and like so grateful for the success it's already had, and then the traction that it's already had for being something so new in our city. But honestly, there's a couple stories behind it. I think the conscious streamers for sure is a part of my personal journey, in terms of trying to make sense of life, right? Like, what is consciousness? What is living? Why are we here? Right? Those existential questions that start to form in your head as you start to like try and find and navigate your purpose. That's part of it. Then there's a funny story, which is as I got into creative writing more seriously, I reached out to one of my favorite, writers and people in the city. His name is Masaki. I'm sure you heard of or maybe know Masaki.
Yeah, I know Masaki.
So I got after one of my pieces, one of the first pieces that I actually got paid to perform. I'm coming off of it. I'm feeling good. I'm like, oh, people paying me. They want to hear what I gotta say. Like, okay, this is cool. Like, this is exactly what I want to do. And so, but I want to be better. I'm an athlete at my core. And so that mentality of like wanting to be better is still always there. And so I'm like, okay, I need to send this out to someone I respect and like, see what they think. And me, I'm like, okay, people are loving this. I'm getting reactions and like people are wanting me to perform this at places. So I'm like, this thing is pretty much already done. He might tell me, change this and be good. He chops it up, yo. He's like, yo, you probably got like 4 different poems in this piece right now. You need to consolidate. He's like, this is more of a streaming of consciousness than anything. Like those are his exact words, to me. And so at first I took that, it was a blow. I was like, dang, like I thought this was pretty good. Like I thought it was done and it was good. But also at the same time, you don't want that yes man. You don't give your stuff to the yes man in order to be better. You give it to someone who's going to be like, all right, I challenge you to be better, right? And so it took me a day or so to kind of like settle down from that initial, damn, bro, like why you ripping my stuff apart? But then I was like, actually, conscious streaming is what we all do, right, in life. No matter if it's just us having this conversation right now, if it's somebody, having a vision of like how to build a building, somebody wanting to start a new brand or a new movement, it's all a part of consciousness, and consciousness is creativity. That is our mission statement at the Conscious Streamers. And so I think creativity is life as well. And so that's pretty much what the Conscious Streamers does, is tries to promote this idea in physical spaces that creativity is consciousness. So we do open mics, creative healing circles, poetry and live painting showcases, creative writing workshops for youth is something that we're getting ready to extrapolate now. And so there's a bunch of different spaces, but really what it is giving people a safe space to express, to, improve their mental health and emotional intelligence through non-traditional ways such as creative writing, or whether it be, visual arts, whatever the case may be. We want to create spaces for people to be able to do that.
I love that mission. So how do you make money?
So some of the shows we charge for, do grant writing as well. I'm working on trying to become better at that. That shit sucks.
Yes, it does.
And then just like I said, most of the time just partnerships. So I do partnerships with a lot of nonprofits who already have those things in place. They see what I'm doing and they think it's important or it can be useful. And so they pay, the company in order to put on the things that I'm already trying to put on. But then some of the events also we just, do ticket pricing as well. So, if you come to one of the Creative Healing Circle open mics, it's costing $10 right now, but I'm not trying to break the bank with anybody, but it's like these things do cost money in order to put on. And so we want to make sure we can at least do that. So, I mean, a bunch of different avenues to create money. Like I said, money is a piece of paper. It's a tool. It's integral. We really need it. But at the same time, it's not so much about the money right now. I think it's more about the desire to create those spaces, and the money is coming in just because of the true passion to create this space.
Well, I've always wanted to have more poetry at the Fledge. So if you ever want a place to do a big event, let us know, because I would love to work with you on that. And then if I have a grant or something where maybe I have a kids art segment in it, and I wanted to hire you, I could hire you and you'd come in and do that.
That's exactly it right there. That's it.
All
that's
right.
How we work. I think relationship building is currency, man. And so that's where that's where this comes from. That's my currency right now, is the relationships that I build.
It's always been an economy of relationships, and it always will be. But
Yeah.
Regina said earlier, it was good for you. You were building your network. It's your net worth.
Hey, okay, Regina, I like that. I like that. Your network is your net worth.
And then I don't know what Erica was talking about, but she says, yes, it does. So she agreed with something.
I'm sure she's talking about grant writing. That's I can tell
Oh,
by that
yeah.
laughing in
Yep.
that. She's probably talking about grant writing.
Yep. That is when she wrote that. So this is May, so only a few months,
Yeah,
right? A few
it's
months.
still very new.
And it's going well.
It's going really well. Not surprisingly well, but almost like I said, I'm just in a place of gratitude for how well it has gone so early on. Like I said, this isn't my first go around at owning a company or starting entrepreneurship, and so that part of it I'm used to, but it's different in this creative space because I think art and creativity is seen in such a different light than a service like fitness, like I used to the space I used to work in, and so it's very interesting. I'm starting to understand, especially in certain areas, that how art is viewed, how creativity is viewed, and I'm just like, do we not understand? Like everything is art. Like creativity is literally content. Creation is literally life, and so that's kind of one of the things that my eyes are opening up to as I navigate the space. But again, at the same time, been blessed to be in relationship with people who hold it in the same regard that I do, and have been able to connect me with people who are like-minded as well. So, like I said, it's been going good, man.
My phrase is, you can't escape art. Everywhere you go, there is art.
Can't do it.
Everything you touch is art built
Literally.
into it. So,
Literally.
The other thing that is I want to delve into a little bit more, because you were an entrepreneur in the fitness space. When you went into the art and creativity space, you probably took that word entrepreneur with you. But a lot of artists that I work with don't like to call themselves an entrepreneur. They're like, I'm not an entrepreneur. That's a capitalist pig or something like that.
Yeah.
And you got any thoughts on that?
I think it's a two-sided coin, but it's like the same coin, right? There's this side of me that understands the importance of the business knowledge, entrepreneurship side of it, and then also as an artist, I'm just like, I'm just doing what I love to do, and people are wanting to support it. So I think for me personally, I don't have such an attachment or a negative connotation with the word entrepreneur. But I think everything is about the context that you perceive it in. And so I don't perceive it as a negative thing, depending on who it is, right? Because just like everything in the world, right, nothing is inherently good or bad, but it's the application of it that makes it good or bad. And so that's how I take it. So I'm good to be called an entrepreneur. I'm good to be called an artist. Really, I'm just a person who loves to build community at the end of the day.
So I'm going to say one more serendipitous thing about the way you and I think alike, because if you went back probably 10 of the 353 shows, I've said the quote, nothing's neither good nor bad, but thinking makes it so.
Facts.
And I think it's like from Milton or Dante or someone. I can't remember who I'm quoting now, but I think like that all the time.
It's true. Well, it's a truth. It is a
It's
truth.
a truth.
It's my truth.
Yeah. What are there any events that we should know about? Anything you want to promote? A website?
Absolutely.
Anything?
So Conscious Streamers hosts an open mic series here in the city of Lansing every Thursday night from 8 o'clock until 11 p.m. At One Love Global, which is on the corner of MLK and Holmes. I hold it in that space because I'm very adamant about having those kinds of things be attached to the South Side. I think it gets a bad rap for various amounts of reasons that we don't want to get into today, but I want to have that space there, and I also believe in the work that One Love Global is doing, and so to be in partnership with them to create this space of creative healing, that's where we hold it at. So it's every Thursday, 8 to 11. First hour is always just networking, like relationship building. Let's talk. Let's get to know one another. We're getting ready to share this time and space together. And so it's just a time for people to get comfortable. And then around 9 o'clock, I'm not going to give everything away, but you come into the space and it's go time at 9 o'clock. And we do a couple things again to promote community, to promote health, to promote expression in non-traditional ways. And then after that, we got our open mic lineup and people come up and they perform, and you get to see people showing them your heart.
So do you have to be a poet to show up, or you can
be a
everyone's
poet, musician, visual artist, dancer, whatever, singer? You can do whatever it is, any artist, any form of artistry that you want to showcase. It can come out as a safe space for all people.
But if I have no talent like me, can I come and
watch?
You can come and watch
too. You can just come and watch and just peep it out. You do not have to perform. There is, like I said, there is some participation aspect to it where I want everyone to participate, but you do not have to share it if you don't want to share it.
All right.
So yeah, safe space for everybody to come to. That's every Thursday night. Any other events that I need to promote?
Well, Regina said that the quote was from Shakespeare, so now I remember, and it's from Hamlet, and she says that too, and she thinks your attitude is really beautiful.
Thank you, Regina. I appreciate that.
And then I also want to give a shout out to the South Side. That's where I grew up. That's where I bounced around. So I'm really happy that you do it in that space. And then Erica with the Village, they're right a couple doors down.
Yeah. Erica and Mike. Okay.
Yeah.
So shout out to the Village too for the work that they do.
Yeah, it's all of you guys right there doing the work that's I would think is the highest priority in the city. I mean, we got food security covered. We need to get gun safety and shit like that. I mean, food security's not gone, or food insecurity's not gone. Yeah. It's still a big problem, but we can't be shooting each other.
I'm sick of kids killing kids, kids getting killed. I mean, it's just in general, but that's a huge thing in our community right now. And I actually just did a performance at the march that the Mikey 2023 Foundation put on a couple weeks ago, and so that was a blessing to be a part of. And I think we're bringing the awareness. We just got to continue to do the things. And I know, like I said, over there at the Village, they're doing the thing. So I'm definitely shout out to them.
It makes me angry when people outside look in at us and say, oh, those kids, they're not raised right, or they're evil, or we got to lock them up and all that stuff. And it's like, nobody's taking ownership and saying, we did this. This kid wasn't
that way. Exactly.
Yes, because of what we did to them. So when we're changing what we're doing to them, like you're talking about, like One Love Global does, like the Village does, then we're changing that outcome. And that's how you get rid of this.
Yep.
And I don't know. 5 more cops ain't doing shit. I'm sorry. We went down a path. I'm gonna get going now.
It's all good. Trust me. I'm in like-minded. I think there needs to be more poured into community outreach, community engagement, and giving these kids more safe spaces to be able to express. To me, my personal analyzation of everything is it comes to these kids having spaces to be able to express what they're going through, and they don't have those spaces. And then we have all of these things in society that are telling them and glorifying the shit that they do, right? Mm-hmm. Shooting people, robbing, stealing, all of these other things. And I'm like, we need spaces to where we can really just have personal relationships with these kids and give them safe spaces to be able to understand and then also express those things and understand that there are other ways that we can handle the situation. But it takes foot soldiers. It takes people on the ground trying to do the real work. That's what it is,
And I love what you're saying there, because what they see is what the believable opportunity is. So if somebody's showing them a gun and whatever, right, and you're like, oh, I need a gun like that, or I want to have a better gun like that because I want to show my gun at the party the next time or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or they could be showing them a mic. They could be showing them a software tool. They could be showing them, but the believable opportunity it's not in the classroom when the dude in the suit comes for the job shadow or whatever, or reverse job shadow, and they're sitting there saying, I never see anyone that looks like that in my neighborhood. I don't know
Exactly.
anybody who's an accountant. My uncle's not an accountant, you know.
Exactly.
So I
There's a
love the
very
work you got.
real there's a very real application of you have to see it to believe it. And so if it's not in my everyday environment, I don't believe that that exists.
Right.
Whether it exists or not, because the truth is it does, but like this is not my everyday life. And so I have no idea what you're talking about right now. Right.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
feel you on that 100%.
So super important work all you guys are doing. And yeah, I wasn't trying to bring you to the east side either. Do all the work in the south side. I
No,
want
it's
to
all
do
good.
work.
It's needed everywhere. It's just that's my house right now. So like I said, I'm definitely not opposed. To coming out to the east side. It's literally everywhere. So, but
Yeah.
I'm shouting out the south side right now because that's where we at.
Yeah. I love it. So what do you do every damn day to push your mission forward?
Ah, man, I think there's a lot of different things you can do every day, but for me personally, every day, I try to make a connection. Like I said, I believe relationship building and time are our biggest forms of currency. And so whether it's time with the kid or a youth that I'm involved in, whether it's time with having a conversation with somebody else who I know is in the same sphere trying to push that narrative forward, whether it's me, putting out something creatively that I know speaks to this issue or thing that I need wants to be changed. It really varies. And like I said, I'm as much as I used to be a boxed in dude because of society. Now I'm so
Mhm.
anti that I'm like, it's not just black or white. It's gray right now. Everything is gray. There are so many ways that I can perpetuate this, but I think most importantly, it's about, like I said, interpersonal reaction or interaction. And so I try to spend time with people as much as possible to have these kinds of conversations, to come up with ideas and physical like things that can actually happen that will help to, like I said, change this issue. And so that's it. I take care of myself. I know that's not like a highly sought thing, but like I can't pour out of an empty cup. So some days
Yep.
I just got to be like, you know what? I need to fill my cup back up. And so whether that's listening to music, whether that's going out to another event to just support the community, whether that's staying in the house all day and making sure that I'm not talking to nobody because I have nothing to give today, and so I can fill myself back up. Though that's important. I think everyone, especially people who do this kind of work, we have to always have that thing that is pouring into us or filling us back up, since we have to pour out so much. Um, and right now, like I said, it's building out these workshops that I really want to get going. I think for me, I am like I said, really doing a lot of focus on this grant writing side of things, and really want to get these spaces for the youth, these middle school age kids, high school age kids, to where they have the space to come through consistently in attachment to the school year. That's my big thing right now that I'm working on, and I want to get that rolled out. I'm hoping in September. That's the goal, is to have that rolling next month, and I know we're only a couple of days away, but it's coming.
Yep. So this is all awesome. We daisy chain our show together. So yesterday on the show, I had Hezekiah Trevino,
Hey, what up,
and
Ty?
his question for you is, what is a secret talent that nobody knows you have, or a secret talent that you're not using that you should be using?
Oh my
Something like that. However you want to answer that.
God. I think that's interesting, right? Because there's a secret talent that I have that I just want to stay secret, and probably until I'm like 50. So maybe I'm not gonna answer with that one, but I do have another one. Um, I think a secret talent of mine. What else do I do? Uh, I can I have this secret talent that I am really that's a cop out answer. I'm not gonna give that. I'm trying to keep it. I'm trying to keep it a buck. I don't want to cop out.
You
Um,
you also don't have to
yeah,
answer.
no, I
You know.
gotta answer, especially if it was Kaya who asked the question. Um, all right, no, I don't. So I actually do a lot of work with engineering as well. Not like smart brainiac engineering with like musical engineering, and so I try to feed that talent, on a daily basis. And I'm working, on that project right now, working on a project right now in regards to that. Where I am working on producing, an audio project. So that's something that most people might not know that I typically do. Yes, I'm on this side of the microphone more times than not, but I can also get in the booth and do some stuff with some audio engineering. So that's the secret. We'll go with that one. I still feel
All
like
right.
that's a cop out, but
No, I don't think so. Do you think that cross training like that helps you on the other side of the mic?
I think it helps me to give me real life experience and also nomenclature to discuss when I am on this side of the mic and I want to communicate with whatever audio engineer is in the space right now. Like, I can talk in their language. I think that's really important, in any sphere of work, to be able to have language and cross lines. Language is important to me. Words are important to me, obviously, as a poet. And so
Yeah.
I think to be able to have the words in order to cross so many different lines and be diverse in your communication is really important. So it helps me on this side of the mic, especially when problems arise. I can be like, yo, we need this fixed. And they'll understand what I'm saying versus me like going like this. And I have no idea. I don't know what to do. So yeah, I do believe it's important to have that cross training and cross experience.
Very good. Tomorrow on the show, I was going to have Dustin Hunt from
Dustin, yo, let's go.
but he had to
busy.
cancel.
He's busy.
He's in the middle of a project
Yeah.
that got moved back or something, so he had to
Yeah.
cancel. So I don't quite have anybody yet,
Okay.
but it's a random question to a random person anyway.
Okay.
What question would you like me to pass to this guest? I'll have an awesome guest.
Ask them this. What do you do to remind yourself of your why behind what you do in the moments that you don't feel like doing it? Because I think, let's just be real, we don't always got it every day. Like, that's just true. We're humans, we're all walking hypocrites. And so, like, as much as we have true, genuine love and energy to do something, one day we just might be like, I don't feel like doing this. And so what is it that you do that reminds you of your why?
Yeah, and I'm going to flip that on you and ask you that same question back at you. But I do like how you've talked about when you're empty, you can't give anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not full, then it's a waste of a day almost.
Yeah.
And I like how you said, because I have to do this more often too. I got to hide at home and not interact with people, or else I'm going to make somebody hurt or mad at me or something like that. But doing this damn show every damn day, it hasn't allowed me to do that. So I'm getting really ornery. So I've been talking about this lately. And so I've really, on September 12th, I am definitely taking a break. And CISO's the very last show. So
hey, CISO, that's my guy. That's the godfather of Lansing right there, y'all. Yeah. So I guess to answer that question, I guess I alluded to it a little earlier, but I think personally it changes. Sometimes, like, I just need to go out and connect with nature. I think we get very detached, getting caught up and being really focused on the mission, as you should be. But for me, what really fills me up is going like out into nature, whether I'm by a body of water or, out in the trees, where there are not mosquitoes, because I can't deal with them things. Or just looking up at the sky, watching the clouds go by, those kinds of things. Just reconnecting with nature really helps to pour or fill me back up and kind of recenter myself. Also, like I said, going out into a space where I don't have to work. I can still be in community, but like, I'm not working. I'm just literally enjoying. That's good. And then also some days as a true introvert, even though I am also an ambivert, the work that I do is very extroverted, which I enjoy. But it still is like factually and actually draining energy from me because I'm not naturally an extrovert. And so even though I'm good at it, I have a skill to do it. It's still draining. And so I have to come home and hide, like you said, and just like sit and not speak to anybody. And whether I'm watching a movie or writing a poem or, cooking or whatever the case may be, I just need some time to me to just be with me and nobody else. So that's how I
Yes,
refuel.
that sounds wonderful. Hey, what's the best way if Regina's saying her 14-year-old son wants to get more involved? What would be the best way for someone to reach out
Ooh.
and talk to you?
So my IG, definitely it's KT the Conscious Poet. So what's on my name right here, just all smushed up, no spaces involved, all lowercase. My business Instagram is the Conscious Streamers, all one word. But in terms of what you're asking, I think what would be really great is for him to get in touch with All of the Above Hip Hop Academy. They are amazing at exactly what you're asking about, and I think that that would be even a better fit than myself. And that takes again a lot of humility to understand. Like, I think there are organizations in place that are better than at that specific thing than what I'm doing, and so I would send him to All of the Above. And if there's a connection, I can even make the connection. I can make the introduction. Like, I'd be happy to do that. Jose Moore is a fantastic individual. That's the OG for sure. And then all of the people who are a part of it. I know a couple of kids who are in the program now. So All of the Above would be a space that I would recommend for that in specific. But yeah, if he wants to just chop it up with me, KT the Conscious Poet on Instagram, I'd be happy to talk to him.
All right. Thank you very much. And I'm going to throw All of the Above's Facebook page up there. So they'll probably
That works.
reach out to both of you. That's what I would do.
Hey, that'll work. That'll work all day.
Because I'll take
And yeah,
any
have them come through
opportunity.
some of the workshops. Most
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, we done. We down. Definitely.
Happiness, sadness, joy, hope, and or love. Which word or words would you like to talk about?
Say them again.
Happiness, sadness, joy, hope, or love.
Okay. I'm gonna go with love. I think so. Another part about me, I believe that part of my life's mission is to lead with love, or like use love as my sword. I'll do a quick story about, I went away on like a spiritual retreat in 2019, and that is the message I feel like I know that I came away with in terms of like leading with love, or using love as my sword in this battle of life. And interestingly enough, my name literally means swordsman that fights with love. So that was kind of nuts to come away with that. I found those two things out separately, but that was nuts. And so love, I think, is a very complex thing that I think we try to make simple. We put it too simply, especially media and all of that stuff. They romanticize it too much. And so like love has a light side and a dark side, but I think in general, when we talk about communal love, it's really just understanding or the capacity to try to understand that just because someone is different, you don't have to be afraid of them. You can literally, like, I can chop it up with you, even though it seems like we are like here frequency wise on the same page. But someone who's different, I'd actually rather have a conversation with that person and listen to them. And that's a form of love, right? It's not like a romantic love. It's just a love for another individual who is sharing time and space with me right now, right? And I have that kind of love for everyone. No matter what background you come from, no matter who you are, no matter what's happened in your life, I just still believe that we need to love one another. And I think that is a general and also specific answer to like the solution to where we find ourselves in life right now. Is we just need to love each other as we love ourselves, right? Like, you don't understand everything about yourself. You don't know why you do all the things that you do. But I think some of it is that people don't really love themselves. And so they portray that same, kind of love out to other people. And I'm just like, man, we need to do better as a community, as a state, as a nation, as a world. We just need to do better when it comes to love. But I think love is so complex that we may not ever understand it. But I try to, lead with love in whatever space that I find myself in. So that's why I chose to talk about love, because I think it's hella important to everything that we do in life.
So yesterday with Hezekiah, we talked about that love could be the fertilizer of all those other words, right? It creates sadness, it creates happiness, it creates the joy. And when you said the dark side of love, I was trying to put that. You want to talk about that a little bit more? But I want to tell you something. I want to tell
Yeah,
you
go
something
for
to
it.
see if this is kind of, because you've given me 3 epiphanies on the show. I'll summarize them later. But
Okay.
the last night I found myself in a situation where I wanted to be in the place. It's a safe spot, but there was some racist people in there,
Mhm.
and I didn't really realize this until at the end of the night when he started talking to me about the Second Amendment and gun violence and some of his thoughts on it, which some of them I think are really good thoughts. Like, for example, we should be having safety training for, not just for pistols, but for rifles and other things. And I'm not saying certification, but like there's no safety training like what Michael's trying to do, I think is
Right.
very, very important. But then he did some other, went into some other, he said rap songs, are always glorifying the gun. So then people that don't know how to use them go out and get them, and then they haven't been trained. And I don't know. I mean, it just started, but I just wanted to keep listening
Mhm.
because I know this is such an important subject for us. Um, uh, in on the south side, on the whole sides of town. So I just wanted to hear what this person that I did not want to talk to had to say about this, because
Right.
that's the strength, though, right?
Yep.
He might have had a couple gems in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Was that showing him love?
Was that
Is that
showing him love, taking the time to listen to him?
yeah?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I'm sure there were a lot of people who thought like you as well and wouldn't even listen to what he had to say. And so you were able to be a seed planted that changed the narrative in his mind, that all the people who think like that, they don't even care about what I want to say, or like I'm gonna waste my time talking to people who think like that because they won't listen anyway, right? And vice versa, right? If you were having a conversation, he chose to listen, but I think that's it. We're also addicted to our own way of thinking, right? And I think that's where we kind of need to start to unravel it. I heard this; those are not my words. I heard this at a retreat that I was at, and it really began to shape my perspective in terms of like, damn, that's kind of true. We all are addicted to our own way of thinking, and if you can start to deal with that addiction, it'll be able to allow you to sit in spaces with people who don't think like you. Like I've literally, how you and I are doing right now. I sat across the table and broke bread with someone who is literally the exact opposite in all of my ideals, and was able to carry a conversation with them. And even though every other like sentence out of his mouth made my blood boil, I was still able to sit and listen and understand, like, oh, I just actually learned something from you today. And so, like, that is a form of love. I don't have to agree with you or, believe everything you believe in order to show you love. I can show you love by just giving you respect and sharing time and space with you. And then we can go in our separate ways and like continue to go on. But like, can we learn something from each other right now in this space? And so, yeah, I think that was a form of love for sure.
Nice. I'm
Yeah.
glad you chose that word. Um, I oh, what's that guy's name? He's a Detroit rapper, Tory.
Oh, Tori Gray.
Yeah, Tory
Yo,
Gray.
that's the bro.
He
Shout out to Find Detroit. They just had an event yesterday actually that I wasn't able to attend, but they do brunches every Saturday, and they got an open mic every Tuesday, 8
yeah.
o'clock in Detroit. Shout out to Find Detroit. Go follow them on IG, Define Detroit.
Yeah, he when he was on the show, his words were so much love driven that I added love to the
The list.
list.
There we
So
go.
he was responsible for that. And before I had love on the list, which is now the most popular word that everyone want. Hope used to be the popular word,
Yeah.
and then love brought sadness up too.
Mm-hmm.
So now sadness is more of a popular word because we put love in.
Okay.
It's been weird, all the different dynamics that happen in the shows, just
Nah,
changing things.
it's actually that doesn't surprise me at all. Him and I have had some conversations where it's almost eerie, how we think similarly and we think different, but we think similarly, especially when it comes to love. So definitely shout out to Tori, shout out Define Detroit. And honestly, man, I think love is the birthplace for everything, right? Like even the best of, like, let's just be honest, because of the fact that this good side exists over here, there is also that opposite side. Like nothing nothing that you don't love can evoke the true emotion of hate, right? You have to love it in order to feel hate, right?
Hmm.
So I think there is I use this term because I don't have another word for it, but duality in almost everything. But like it's always gray. It's two sides to every coin, but it's always still the same coin.
Yeah. I use that word a lot too, and I'm not sure it's the right word either.
Right.
But it's, I've always thought, that duality. If you don't recognize it, you're gonna get really dogmatic. You're gonna not understand the
Facts.
spectrums and the continuums,
Facts.
and you're not gonna be able. We can't relate with each other because we don't look at things on continuums. We look at black and white, and
Mm-hmm.
oh, you're that, so you do that, and we try to proxy all this bullshit.
It's not no. You right. I would say you stopped yourself because we're gonna go for another hour if we keep going. But nah,
Well, I'm
I
gonna
hear
start
you.
swearing. Is what the
You
problem's
you
gonna be.
you and I we gonna have to go get some coffee, Jerry.
I was gonna ask. In particular, I want to talk about chaos theory
Okay.
from my perspective
Okay.
and your conscious streaming from your perspective, and I want
Okay.
to kind of talk about. Actually, it's going to go into quantum physics a little bit. I know this.
Man, here you
Uh,
go.
but there's some things I would love to hear the words that you would use for the replacement of words I'm using, because
Okay.
that's what I think. It's so close, but
Okay.
I call it something else and you're calling it something else, and I think we could get that nomenclature like you said,
Bet.
so we could, I don't know, code switch or something.
Hey,
Act like
let's
we're
let's do it. We'll make sure to set a coffee date up.
all right. Good. um Thank you so very much for being on the show. I've been full of energy and smiling this whole time and nodding my head a lot and clapping. So again, I appreciate you so very much. Oh,
Thanks.
this combo is fire from Stephen McCory.
Hey, my
Um,
guy Steven. Hey, gotta shout him out too. Every Friday in front of Soul. Well, dang, it's about to end soon, but come out next Friday. Social Cipher in front of Soul Nutrition on South Washington Ave. It's just you do not have to come in and rap, but you can come and watch and listen. Steven is genuinely like pure-hearted dude. Love. He shows love in ways that inspire me, and he also got bars like crazy. So come in, chop it up with us in front of Soul Nutrition every Fridays from 11 to 1 at the Social Cipher.
he said the next 2 Fridays.
Yep, next two.
So, all right. Thank you for shouting that out. I had a bunch of people yesterday that were at it on Friday or that
Mhm.
saw it on Friday. Now they
Mhm.
want to start doing something similar here, and that's inspiring because they were
It is.
telling me that it was really super cool yesterday.
Yes, sir. It is. It
Uh,
is. It's a good energy. It's a good vibe. It's good people. Everyone. It's another safe space where everyone is welcome. That's really what it's about, man. So let's go.
and thank you for doing that, Stephen. Um, and what would you like to take us out with?
First off, I just want to say thank you, to you, for having me on. I really do appreciate it. This has been a good time, and I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts about this chaos theory and all of these things going on. So we'll have to have a conversation. But I think two things. One, I'm going to share a piece that centers around the mission behind conscious streamers. It'll probably take like a minute and a half, so nothing crazy. And then I also want to just shout out this shirt really quick. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it says "Show me your art." But there's a heart logo, so it's really "Show me your heart." And I think no matter what we do, whether it's a conversation like this, whether it's actually an artistic form of expression or a visual form of expression, when someone is conversing with you in an intimate way, they are showing you a piece of their heart. And I think we need to take that very, very seriously. It's something that we need to cherish, and I think we need to uh, glorify that more, right? And so I want to lift up a space where it's okay to be expressive of all of you, right? The sad side, the mad side, the angry side, the happy side, the joyful side. Like we need to create spaces where that's okay. And so, "Show me your heart" is a t-shirt that I actually am launching on Monday. So maybe I can drop the link in here or something like that for people to go and purchase. And these were designed. This logo was designed by Tina, the same artist who did that painting over there on that side. And then Luke from Retro Duck in East Lansing, that t-shirt company that actually printed them up. So that's who we're working with. So I just wanted to shout that out. Those are going live on Monday to be purchased. And so I'll drop the link in the comments after you post the video up.
Okay.
And then last thing is I just want to share this piece with y'all. So this is titled Creativity is Consciousness.
Hey, let me get out of your way. Or let me see if I
can. My way?
Yeah. Let me hang out with you, but I'll.
There we go. All right. People who know nothing consistently speak in fact and truth, taking individual experiences and applying them as corporate absolutes. Now that's confused. A matter of fact, that's abuse. Choking from strings of their own consciousness. Wow. What a captive noose. One I definitely don't want to hang with. Stuck in repetitive reasoning, holding themselves in captivity by simply thinking the same shit, and that's dangerous. You may ask me why. I say that's dangerous because when you approach consciousness with complacency, you lack the very tool that you need to create change with. Imagination. See, you are a creation, created by the creator in order to keep creating, but society has taken your ability to react with innovation. And that's just sad. Are we really conscious? Or are we stuck in this monstrous cycle of oblivion, trying to make sense of things that don't make the best sense? Since less is understood, does that give us less sense? Like, my sense less, or is my sense less since I don't want to live for the sake of dying, but I'd rather die for the sake of living? Giving up life for life itself. The true meaning of YOLO. There was a higher being that acknowledged you and put power inside of you. The only thing I'm trying to get you to see is that life is a duet. There is something pouring in your cup, and you're not doing it solo. Yet we are solo cup drunk from indoctrination and propagation. I wish we would show more love and stop the hating. See, this world entices you with demonic indulgences, and it's all just a plot to stop creation. Sheep with blind sheep with wool pulled over eyes. That's a prop for playing. For those of you who have separated from man in order to seek out God, I give you props for praying, because whether you have full faith or Ripley's believe it or not, the one thing we can all agree on is that you cannot stop creation, because creation is life and creativity is consciousness. Thank you.
I don't have a big, I wish I had a big crowd here. They'd be going nuts.
Good, man.
All right. I don't even know how to respond to that. That's number it. One. That's sorry, all you other poets out there, but this is my favorite poet or poem I've heard in a long time. And I ain't just BSing. I don't do that with my guests. Okay. The reason is because that describes what I'm trying to do better than anything. Exactly. Well, we got to go have this coffee.
Hey, that's your reaction was the biggest compliment that I needed. So your reaction says enough. I think we can leave it. We can leave it with that energy, man.
Those, yeah, I need those words, man. I need those words. You're a badass, man. You know that. I'm sure you know that. Everybody I have talked to about you being on the show has just had nothing but praise for you. So. I definitely hope we get together real soon and have that conversation.
Oh, we'll definitely make it happen, man. Definitely. And thank you to each and whoever you spoke to. Thank you to them, because I don't keep squares in my circle. So they are also dope and genuine and good loving people too. So we're good to roll. Other than that, man, I appreciate you having me so much, and it's peace and love until next time.
Thank you so very much, man. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for watching. That is a spectacular poem. I can't wait to watch it again. Love y'all. See ya.